Vasta here, and this is a different kind of video you guys are gonna get. I am here with my good friend Bethany Green from Paul's Pet Care, and she joined me here in Arizona for a little, you can call this, a little R&R / business boot camp.
Yeah, exactly.
We're driving and we're taking a little bit of road trip and we're having lots of great conversations. We wanted to bring you guys in on this because this is a very important topic if you have a business.
Yes.
I don't care what kind of business you have. If you are engaged or if you're married, hopefully it's always a little bit better before you actually get married. But we want to talk today about a partnership agreement.
Yeah.
And Beth has an incredible story to share with us all that just kind of learned the hard way.
Yep.
Listen up.
So let me start off by saying that, first of all, like, this is for any kind of partnership. It doesn't have to be a marriage or anything. If you're in business with your sister or your best friend or anything like that, then you really need to be responsible when it comes to planning for the future and any kind of scenario that might happen, because you put so much effort into growing your business and so much of your time and so much of your heart, and you work so hard at it. And then in my case, I went through a divorce, and prior to us getting married, I started our business and worked it from the ground up. And after we got no, I'm sorry, it wasn't prior. It was after we got married. That's how this whole story starts. But after we got married, I started the business. And because I never thought that our relationship would ever end.
Of course, no one wants to think that, right?
We were in love and all that.
Yeah.
When I registered the business, I put the business in both of our names. So when I registered it with the state
and who would fault you for that, right?
Yeah,
you're in love, you're married, it's half and half, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's no one ever goes into a marriage thinking it would dissolve. And this goes for, like she was saying, many other relationships. I know some partnership agreements between two best friends that have started pet companies and it's dissolved.
Yes.
Luckily, they actually did have a partnership agreement because I started working with them 8 years ago, and I was like, you guys need to.
Yeah.
So they already knew how they were going to dissolve. But when you're in a loving, romantic relationship, not only is it not sexy, but it plants a seed of doubt. It's just kind of taboo. It's weird, you know?
It shouldn't be. Like, if you have two people that are adults that are working together, like my husband didn't even work in the business with me. I mean, he did a couple of pet sits. He filled in for me here and there in the beginning. But, he didn't have a lot to do. Well, he didn't have anything to do with running the business or growing the business. Or I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into our business. And, to approach this kind of conversation with someone can be a little disruptive to your relationship, because it can plant a seed of doubt in someone's mind and say, okay, what, are you planning on leaving me? Are you planning on something? But if you're two adults,
or you're rooting against me, or you know,
if you're two responsible adults, then you need to plan for your future. And this doesn't always have to be for the event of a relationship ending, okay? So like our friendship ending or a divorce or anything. You need to plan in the event of your death, which I know is not something that any of us want to think about.
Not sexy.
Yeah. But there comes a point in time where, again, you've grown your business, it's got value, and if you're a 50% owner or 49% owner or whatever, then what happens when you die to your percentage?
Right.
What happens if you have an unfortunate event and you're no longer with us? Then what does the percentage, your percentage, go to your partner? I mean, it doesn't have to. You can make arrangements for
it to go to your offspring,
it to go to your children or to your parents, or your half has to be sold off, or it can go to your partner, or so
I think what I hear you saying is that it's planning. It's called planning. Like, we plan for our fiscal goals. We plan for our marketing. We plan for employees. We plan for our social media. it. We plan for our growth of our business.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we all lack is planning for the, God forbid, the end of the business or the end of us.
Right, absolutely.
This is actually a little scary to think about and be talking about as we're driving on the freeway.
Nobody likes to think about this anytime. Like, you don't want to think about it anytime, because nobody wants to be faced with their mortality or the end of a loving relationship or anything.
Or I think we just think that everyone naturally understands and knows what we want.
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
Or who should get it.
Right.
You know, and then that's how a lot of family strife comes, or friends strife. You know, that's the mortality part. But you know, if you have two friendships, because this could go so many different ways.
Yes.
If you have two friendships and one of them just says, you know what, Beth and I are in a business relationship, and I decide, Beth, you know what, I'm gonna go have 10 babies and homeschool them all, and I don't want to do this business anymore.
Yeah.
And now we're fighting over how the dissolution of this business happens. And because we're fighting over it, resentment grows, anger grows, and all of a sudden the relationship that was so strong enough to start and create and grow this incredible entity is now no more. And now we have a void in each other's lives, and that's sad, you guys. That's sad. So that's like a friendship level. But if you're like business, husband and wife team, you know, you're already battling a lot of stuff. And you know, it's called a post-nuptial or a partnership agreement. And it's something that you want to just talk to your lawyer about, or call up a lawyer, or go to a networking meeting and ask a lawyer during lunch. Get a Legal Shield account for $39.99 a month. It's so cheap. There's no sign-up fees. There's no cancellation fees. There's no contract. You as a business owner need to take responsibility for planning.
You know, you can consider it like, I know that you like coach exit strategies for your business.
Totally.
So you can really consider it as an exit strategy or exit strategy planning for any scenario. Now, what happened to me is because Kentucky, which is where I live, I don't know if y'all can tell by my accent, but is a no-fault state. So any property, any assets that are acquired the day after you get married have to be split 50-50.
Many states are like that. I don't know any states that aren't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
sure there are.
Thinking that most of them are. But so I had to buy him out of my own business, which, can we cuss on here?
Heck yeah.
That was like the biggest shit sandwich I ever ate in my life, because I worked so hard at it and I grew it and all that stuff. But
humbling.
But fortunately, you know, I was just strong. I had a great business attorney, which you're always talking about. You know, you need to be prepared for stuff like this.
You can't be going and getting these players on your team after the ball has been hit at home plate. Like you can't be waiting for that ball to come out of the center field and then go, I need a center fielder. You need to have that person out there ready and waiting, and that you know they can catch the ball for you. You got what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you need an exit strategy for your business. Bottom line, whether you're planning on
and from day one. From when you start.
So
and it might change, and that's okay.
You know,
you need to have it.
A lot of pet sitters don't do a business plan, I feel like, but
I totally did it at the beginning.
But this is something that you should definitely plan about. And it's not, again, it's not comfortable to think about. Nobody wants to think about it, but it's a necessary thing that you should consider and have adult conversations and professional conversations with your business partners. If you're a sole proprietor, then you hopefully have someone else that knows what you want.
Hopefully, but you know what? I can also picture a lot of pet sitters who are out all day long, you know, and we were talking earlier that I don't know how to say this nicely, but the pet sitter's life, if you're in the field, is very stressful on home and relationships, because at the times where we're typically congregating to talk about our days, dogs out before they go to bed. And we're missing out on that important family time. We're not eating right. We're not happy. We're not pouring into ourselves because we're all caretakers, care-hearters. We're taking care of everyone else and not ourselves, let alone our relationships, right? And so I can see this happening. And as a coach, I've been sworn to secrecy. But Beth, I probably have a half a dozen of people in the past 2 years that have come to me and said, shit, Bella. Oopsie, I just... Shoot, Bella. How do I evaluate my business? My husband and I are getting a divorce, and I either am going to lose my business, which are totally distraught about, in the mix of losing their other half and realizing everything's failing and dividing all the other assets. They're realizing that their livelihood. I mean, if you were at a 9-to-5 job, they're not going to say, hey, Beth, we're going to take half your 9-to-5 job. I mean, unless you're the breadwinner and support and all that stuff. But generally speaking, half your job isn't going to be lost. But in this situation, it's so different, and it's you guys know, it's so taboo. No one talks about it, and I give you a lot of credit for getting out in front. And I know as soon as this stuff happened, Bethany, you were really adamant about wanting to tell this story and get this word out. I think I Facebooked
you, and I was like, oh my God, you've got to add this to your classes.
Bull crap.
Yeah,
we need to talk.
Because that is exactly what happened to me. I went through, I grew this business from the ground up.
Nothing. Thin air. Nothing, zero, zilch did not exist.
Yeah, and
this is a multi-six-figure business, guys. We're not talking like some piddly squat company. And Bethany is one of the only people that I will ever endorse that I know that has ICs, because, oh my God, she does it the right way.
Yeah, ICs are incredibly labor intensive to make sure that you are doing things right. But anyway, so that business paid my salary. That was my livelihood, my job. It didn't pay salary. He didn't depend on that money. That was my salary. I quit my corporate job 4 years ago to run this business full time. So, everything worked out in the end, but it was a very, very stressful, emotional, and expensive lesson to learn. So,
and had you had someone push you along earlier and say, get this in order,
oh my gosh,
you could have, it still would have been emotional and stressful and expensive, but that's expected when you have a divorce. It's never like a double whammy, or that, what did you call it, shit eating cake?
Ate a shit sandwich.
When all of a sudden your livelihood and your business and what a lot of us consider our babies, like our business is our baby, right? Like we care about our business is part of us.
There's a definite emotional attachment because we work so super hard to grow it. And we do everything. We don't have staff in most cases. Some of us have grown big enough to have a helper or an office manager or whatever, but just protect yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very forward-thinking, professional thing to do. Just like you would plan for your future by buying life insurance. Okay, so this is like kind of an insurance policy to make sure that everything happens the way that you want it to in the event of any kind of life change for your business. So
if you were a business owner right now listening to this, Beth, what advice would you give them if they're like, I can't possibly ask my wife or my husband that? Like, they're gonna, you don't understand, Bella and Bethany, like, they're just gonna go. What's a way that they might be able to say something like that to them?
Well, I think you should approach it from the future planning aspect. Like, if I love you, but if I pass away, I've been thinking about things, this is really important to me. If I pass away, or if something happens to me, this is what I want to happen to my portion or my percentage of this company. And then if you're dealing with a partnership with a spouse or a friend, a best friend or whatever, then you should maybe have them watch this video and talk about it. Like, be an adult, have a decent conversation, and just say, okay, let's plan for the future. What are we going to do? Because it doesn't help anyone to not be prepared. Believe me.
Totally.
It's very stressful for both about things like this.
Yeah.
But, you know, nobody said life was going to be easy all the time. Or
Totally.
business.
Totally. Well, Beth, thanks for joining me today, and thanks for being on this road trip with me.
You're so welcome.
And,
It's been so fun.
If anyone wants to get a hold of Beth, go to callpause.com. That's CALLPAWS.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos. Go ahead and push notifications so that you get notifications every single time we upload a new video.